To from here, we've got about a month left of 2010. Do you think we'll end the year off on a positive note?
It depends. I mean, we've got a month left to the end of the year. We still haven't got a budget yet, although the Minister of Finance promises that there will be a budget in the next couple of weeks. And so I think that's the only real big piece of information that awaits the market. And there's a bit of a scrap between the SEC and the House of Reps committee that overlooks it. And hopefully, if that doesn't blow over, then we should see the market end up on a high.
Do you think that we'll hear news on the budget before the end of the year?
I should hope so. According to the Minister of Finance, we should. I think it's very important that we do, because companies can't really plan for 2011 if they haven't got an idea of the budget.
Let's touch on the fact that the deficit could hit around 6.1% of GDP in 2010. That, of course, not being very good news.
No, it's not. It seems to suggest that finances seem to be ballooning. You can't expect expenditure to increase, especially in an election year moving up. But what we're seeing is that there are a lot of extraordinary budgetary expenditure that seems to be happening, such as paying NITO workers, paying the power company workers, and with the excess crude being run down as well, and also the foreign reserves seemingly under pressure, it doesn't look very good.
Let's touch on where you think equity markets are going to head by the end of the year. We touched on it a little earlier. Obviously, a lot of news that we're waiting for from government. But at the end of the day, we have seen some stocks faring better than others. Some seem to shrug off the macro news and seem to just really be focusing on the underlying fundamental demand that we've seen for various consumer products.
Yes, I mean a lot of the manufacturing companies have shown quite good results. I mean, on the positive side, but on the negative side, there are rumors about possible devaluation of Naira, which might affect them. There are also rumors about this new tariff regime that the Minister of Finance announced yesterday, which allows certain goods that are prohibited to come in based on tariffs, which might affect the manufacturing sector as well. But based on that, those are some negatives that the manufacturing sector will look towards.
Let's touch on Flourmills issuing a bond, of course, a second major bond of its kind coming through from a corporate. What coupon rates is the market expecting at this point in time for this bond?
Well, at the moment, because they're doing a book building exercise, which they expect to end in the next week, I think probably what you see is probably a spread of between 400 to 500 basis points on the FGN 5-year, or between the FGN 5-year and the FGN 7-year. I think there'll be a spread of that. Flourmills is seen as a strong company. They have very good results. They have a diversified company as well, because they don't only just do flour, they're also doing just cement and bagging and various other industries as well. So I think you'll probably see a pretty good coupon.
Most governments trying to protect itself from the likes of cheap imports. Interesting to note that a ban has been lifted on textile and furniture imports. What kind of impact is it going to have on those underlying stocks that will be, of course, affected?
I think going from what the Minister of Finance was saying, I think what was understood is that although these items were banned, they were being smuggled into the country. So what the government was saying that, look, basically we can't keep these goods out of the country. So in effect, if they are going to enter into the country, then we should take some revenue from them. I think that was the thrust of the agreement. I think in terms of the local manufacturing companies, I mean, the textile industry in Nigeria was decimated by cheap Chinese imports in the last 10 years. I mean, the government set up a special fund to help resuscitate them. But the key issues for the textile industry is they can't compete because of infrastructure. Unless you have a stable power supply, decent transport network, they won't be able to compete with the cheaper imports.